up, everyone? Well, I'm cheaping out on the heat once again. Robe! Yeah, because so-called bathrobes are actually Snuggies in disguise. But since we've got blue going every which way, that's more like it. Now it's more of a proper vlog. And speaking of blue going every which way, I've got this insulated cold drink holder thingy that's made to look like one of those big Arizona iced tea soda cans, except blue and with ship anchors going every which way. Yeah, I saw these on sale at Walmart a while ago, and it was kind of an impulse buy. Plus, I needed some new insulated containers for hot and cold beverages anyways. So I drink the Aldi fruit punch stuff out of one of these, and then I have one that looks like one of those fancy coffee cups for tea in the morning. Keeps things nice and cold, though. In particular, if you're not in extreme conditions, the insulation helps keep the warmth of your hand from screwing up your cold drink. So, good stuff. I guess you could technically say we have a drink of choice going here. Well, there's allergies going every which way anyways. So, tomorrow is October 21st, 2015. And the culmination of me wearing these nerd watches, because Michael J. Fox, I believe, had something like this, or an 80s version of it anyways, in at least one of the Back to the Future movies. I think the original, maybe, something, yeah. But anyways, I haven't seen the movies in a while, but that changes tomorrow, of course, because I will be rewatching the 25th anniversary trilogy. No, not the 30th one that I saw in the stores. I'm not one to rebuy movies, and I think that this Blu-ray was A-okay. It's just that, you know, unless I can see some kind of review that the 30th anniversary is leaps and bounds above this one. I mean, this one received all kinds of accolades when it first hit the market as being an incredibly well-done Blu-ray package. But it's got a lot of extras too, but I'm only going to be rewatching the movies. But it's just 30th anniversary. I know they're playing off the whole 2015 thing, obviously. That's why they're releasing it in October. So, but I saw it on the shelves this afternoon. I was like, yeah, marketing is marketing is marketing. I'll stick with the 25th. You know, if this gets kind of dinged or scratched or whatever, yeah, scratch resistant coating on Blu-rays might not happen too easily. But if this gets, if I feel like getting it later on, I will. But I'm not one to rebuy movies, except going from like standard to high def, or maybe getting a director's cut or something like that. I have to compare the extras or something like that before considering picking up the 30th anniversary trilogy. But I did blow the dust off of the PS3 to watch some Blu-rays tonight, because what I did pick up was something significantly less expensive. Jurassic World DVD Blu-ray digital combo, although I really don't care for digital copies. So this is an interesting reboot of the Jurassic Park series, and it kind of reminds me of the Grand Theft Autos. You know, you have like the PS2 generation, and then you have the high-def generation with Grand Theft Auto 4. So even though this was kind of a reboot, there were some ties back to the original trilogy, so to speak, which I have this DVD collection of. It's kind of it's that one that opens up, and you got all the DVDs in there. I thought about getting the Blu-ray versions of these, but I haven't really been too keen on getting the Blu-ray versions of these things. Maybe someday I will, but I'm not really in too much of a rush with these, because the first one was awesome, it was groundbreaking, and it was a technical feat in the early 1990s, but the sequels were just, well, the sequels were kind of interesting. The second one, where the dinosaurs actually go running loose through the town, is, yeah, I know, spoiler alert, right? But come on, it's about huge dinosaurs. You'd think they'd eventually get around to having one of them be like Godzilla or something. Or should I say Dinosaurzilla? I mean, come on, that shouldn't be too much of a spoiler. But if you haven't seen these movies from the early 90s by now, well, yeah. Plus, I'm not too worried about spoiling the original Jurassic Park, because Jurassic World incorporates a lot of elements of these three movies in this one movie. So there are a lot of nods to the original trilogy. It's almost a rehash rather than a reboot, but it's definitely a good way to maybe pique some folks' interest in the original movies, although these are kind of dated by now with some of the 90s-ish references. But it was nice to see the ties back to the old movies in here. Some people have bashed this as an uninspired reboot, but it's not like Michael Bay took a swing at this or something like that, or Uwe Boll, or any of those infamous directors who destroy, well, So, yeah, Jurassic World, under $20 for Blu-ray DVD combo, so I picked it up. If I see decently priced Blu-ray DVD combos, I pick them up. So when you consider that I used to pay $15 for DVDs back in their heyday, then $17, $18 for a Target special Blu-ray DVD combo, not that bad of a deal, unless this thing's short on extras, but the full-blown movie nuts will probably be the ones going crazy about the extras. There's a couple of things in here, but there's a few things. There's a few extras on here, but I'm not really too concerned about that kind of thing. Although it is nice to own the whole package, so to speak. But this is one of the things that keeps Netflix's disc service alive, is people not wanting to bother with having their own Blu-ray collection, but instead just rent someone else's. Either way, Jurassic World was pretty interesting, although it is kind of a somewhat different film from the original, but significantly more technological and more high budget. Maybe that's why I liked it. A lot of technology on display. But anyways, Back to the Future. Or Back to the Future. I don't know. But anyways, so what do I have planned for tomorrow with the whole Back to the Future day? Chores and errands. Well, there is going to, besides watching the movies, I do have some things I want to do. But it's all going to be tied to the future move, so to speak. Probably not going to do as many chores around here, but I do want to, for example, go see the folks at the scrapyard about getting rid of some of these old computer parts, maybe stop at an appliance shop that buys old appliances to inquire about some of the, like, I have portable air conditioners that I experimented with, so I was too lazy to put a wall mount in and a wall unit in and out of the, or window unit in and out of the window. So I'm wondering if they might buy it, fix it up, resell it, what they can give me for it. There's music shops I want to stop by and see if there's music shops that I'd like to stop by and see if I can sell off, like, my old guitar, some of my guitars, my basses. I got a set of cymbals from when I experimented with drums way back when, and other places as well that I'm thinking of, selling or donating stuff to in order to clear things up and declutter around here so I can leave. I went out to the property that I was looking at, that I was responding to an ad for earlier. I'm not so sure it would be that good of an idea. First of all, the roads are so small, there's only room for one car. It's one of those roads where you have to go off into the bushes if there's someone coming the other way. But the biggest problem I have with this property is I think the landlord's a moron. From what he's doing. Basically, he took a huge mill house and split it into 10 units, but there's barely anywhere to park. And you have to get off the roads. There's actually parking bans in snowstorms over there, so you can't park on the street if there's a snow event going on. So I don't know how this would work. I mean, unless this guy can tell me exactly how things would work in a parking ban situation, how this all works, I don't see this working out, because price is one thing, but it needs to be something where I want to get away from here. And I'm not so sure I want to leave this place if there's stupid little gotchas like that. Plus, 10 families in a mill house. I mean, this guy obviously didn't add things up, because if he's looking for reliable tenants who reliably pay the rent and stuff, his best bet would be 2 income, like couples. Now, around here, where there isn't much for mass transit, if you're not driving your own car, that means he needs to have parking spaces for 20 cars. He does not have that. So I'd say he's got some splaining to do on how he would handle things. He's talking about how his tenants just up and leave and send him the keys without telling him, but I can imagine why folks would cut and run. I can imagine why folks would cut and run if there's nowhere to park. So, and this town has some parking problems. I've seen them when I've been there. It's the closest thing we have to something that's not total rural country. Every place has a parking lot type, that kind of deal. It is kind of a situation like that. So I'm gonna have to ask him some very pointed questions before I consider moving forward, maybe, with this. That's why I need to shotgun it too and see all these properties, get a perspective on things, and then what kind of compromises would I like to make, what do I want to go for, what do I really want. The folks I work with have been telling me which neighborhoods to avoid, so I can find out where these places are. If the person won't tell me where these places are, then I will assume it's a sham and just keep looking. But yeah, I guess the landlord that I currently have can consider me as having one foot out the door either way. it's made sense for me to find some way to move closer to work for the longest time. And I was just waiting to exhaust all opportunities to remain here. But the biggest reasons for me to want to leave: cut the work commute, get away from Smoke Lady's smoke. It's that simple. And it's not just when I have the windows closed either. She's been trying to open the windows, but that just means the stench from her unit just goes out, goes up, and comes back in through my window fans. So I haven't been able to get a break from the smoke during the summer either. It just comes in through the window instead of through the floor. That's how much this lady smokes. By the way, again, no shared ventilation. There's no hot air ventilation here. There's none. None whatsoever. And this much stuff is both coming through the floors and radiating out from the house, coming up and coming in through a window fan. So that's the kind of problem that she has. And I've already gotten responses. Who smokes that much? She does. She reminds me of someone double her age who's smoking herself to death because she's literally got nothing left to do with her life but sit on her ass and smoke all day. Except she's doing it in her 40s instead of her 80s. So it's... Oh, man, glad I brought a cold one to this one. But I was thinking about the landlord's about face on the situation, and it occurred to me, I'm probably the best tenant that he has in this block, unless he wants to play the lottery with people looking for places, which this place isn't very attractive, because there's not, it's a little ways away from some of the jobs around here. I mean, if people want a cheap place, working class, just have a job nearby and pay some below rent and stuff like that, there's places closer to activity around here that someone could go to in the same rent range. Those are the kinds of places I'm checking out. But when I think of the other tenants in this block, I really think that if he tries to raise rents, he's going to empty the place out pretty easily or end up with multiple evictions on his hands. Because who else is in here? Well, I know the couple across from this unit, they have 2 kids, and I think only one of them works because of childcare expenses, so I don't think they have a lot of money. So, yeah, not going to work for them. And then Smoke Lady sits on her ass smoking all day, maybe receives some kind of disability or welfare or whatever, but the piece of junk beater mobile that she was running into the ground the whole time she's been here is gone now, so maybe she finally just said heck with it and junked the thing. But it was an old, like, late 90s Mercury or something, so it's just, oof. Yeah, she just gets rides from everybody now. And then the lady now down and around is elderly, I think, and retired or on disability or something like that, and I think she has some medical issues as well, so she doesn't have any money either. So I'm probably the best tenant he has in terms of somebody continuously working, and no rent BS, even when I was laid off. So... But then to have this crap go on, and then him to get abusive when I take things to the next level and get some officials involved, well, what are you going to do? It's a messy situation either way. So, but I've got a whole group of people, a couple towns away, cheering for me to move closer to their neck of the woods. Hey, maybe we can go drinking or something like that. I'm not any kind of drinker, but maybe if we, have like bowling night or something like that outside of work, I'd go to something like that. But it is kind of interesting that the folks I work with, I'm talking to them like we're friends instead of just co-workers. I don't see that very often, so cheers to them. You know what sucks about these containers? You have to take the top off to see what's left. There's not very much. Fake soda cans, baby. Fake soda cans. Let's chug the rest of this and wrap it up. So what's my plans for tomorrow besides chores and watching the movies? Whatever I can think of. Might make a video. Might head out to the cliffs again. Haven't been there in a while. Probably some nice fall foliage going on out there too. And it might be my last hurrah for going out to those places if I'm planning on moving, so maybe I should go out one more time and get some nice fall foliage in there. I mean, the original A Walk in the Park video that I did back in 2006 was on my very first digital camera. So going out there with a full-blown camcorder and getting some fall foliage when we're this close to peak season, that might actually be a pretty good idea. I also, because of the whole Back to the Future thing, Excuse me, allergy break. Yeah, anyways. And the chair is creaking again. Sometimes this thing makes rather unflattering noises, like it's got a built-in whoopee cushion or something, but anyways. So, darn allergies. One of the things I am thinking of doing for Back to the Future Day tomorrow is there is this 1950s style diner around here. It's a historical place, but they have, they have a decent menu and stuff. There is this 1950s style diner that I haven't been to since the 80s. So there's your 50s, 80s, 2010s link right there. I want to go there for lunch, or, lunch-ish in the afternoon, something like that, when I'm done watching the movies, basically. I want to go there for lunch. I haven't been to that place, and I'm going with the watch, or something like that. I will have a Pepsi with the meal. It won't be Pepsi Perfect, but it'll be a Pepsi in 2015. So, assuming they serve it, and maybe like, is Coke okay? Kind of like the opposite of, is Pepsi okay? So, yeah, this is a 50s style diner that I haven't been to since the 80s. When we first moved down here at the tail end of the 80s, when I was a little kid, we went out to this place, and I had just seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off for the first time at the tender age of 6. Not a good influence for a little kid with all the swearing and stuff. My folks were like, who showed you that movie? I'm like, it's on the VHS tapes that you've got where someone recorded, we had someone close to us who recorded a ton of cable TV movies pass away and give us their VHS tapes. And there was like a logbook of every single movie that was on all those tapes. They were numbered and everything. It was basically poor folks' cable plus. I mean, this person was I think this person was so hard up for money that she drove a Gremlin in the late 1980s. So, run that one. She had a Gremmy in the late 1980s. Yeah, an AMC Gremlin. One of those ugly 70s cars. So, actually, the folks on Roadkill have a Gremlin, a green one, that they kind of mess with every so often. Or that's why I called it the Gremmy, because one of those guys... Shoot, I haven't seen that show in a while. I should play catch-up on it. Freiburger and Finnegan. I think it's Freiburger that has the Gremlin. So, and he put it up against like a Toyota Prius at one point in terms of, or a Ford Focus or something in terms of fuel efficiency. But anyways, getting off topic here. But I should watch Roadkill again. I haven't seen it in a while. But yeah, so she gave us all these tapes. I watched Ferris Bueller's Day Off and stuff like that. And of course, there was the whole scene where Matthew Broderick is doing the parade float thing and shake it, oh baby now. And that's the first time I'd heard that song. And so here we are in this 50s style diner with little jukeboxes, which, yeah, I should bring some quarters, by the way. And I find that song by the Beatles, so I dial it in. And all of a sudden, shake it, oh baby now. And here I am, like 6, 7 years old. It's the Ferris Bueller song from the parade float. Yeah, it's like... But then again, I did have one of my cousins introduce me to MTV when I was 6. Oh, is that why you're so messed up? Yeah, here I was, child of the 80s. I'd only seen an acoustic guitar and the stuff. My dad was a big fan of John Denver and 70s folky stuff. So, vroom, 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 vroom. And then I see these guys from Poison with flying V's screeching all over the place, spinning around on the floor. I'm like, whoa, that's what I call a guitar. Yeah. Yeah, if you're a child of the 80s, the late 80s, when it was practically a caricature of the early 80s. Anyways, this diner that I want to have lunch at, I don't think they'll let me film, but I will go there. It's a 50s style diner that I haven't been to since the 80s, so there's your big Back to the Future thing. I think it's going to be kind of a cross between a nod to the Back to the Future stuff and a nod to this channel nearly having gone on for 10 years. Although, unfortunately, I'll probably end up saying goodbye to the Geek Suite before the 10-year celebration, which would be next September. But I do have some plans for 2016, although, unfortunately, I'm hearing some stuff right now that's got me thinking 2016 is probably going to be the polar opposite of this year. I mean, this year was all like, yeah, nerd stuff, 2015, Back to the Future, da-da-da. But I'm not at liberty to discuss details at this time. But I'm hearing some word from family and friends that there could be some really bad things happening. Not to me personally, but to people I know and care for next year. So we'll talk about that when I'm able to discuss more details at this point, but it could be that 2016 is just as bad as this one was all hyped up. We'll have to see what happens. Hopefully it's not as bad as I'm foreboding here. Hopefully by this time next year I can laugh at myself for being so negative about all of this, but you never know with life. Oh, wow, burping from Aldi Fruit Punch. Allergy break. You know what I hate about vlogging? You go to try to do one of these big long takes and stuff like that, and your eyebrow itches or something stupid like that. But, yeah, the reason for the allergies is because I can't get away from the smoke no matter what I do. If I open the window, I'll get fresh smoke that went out, up, and in. If I close the window, I'll get the smoke from her unit directly through whatever cracks it can find. End it already. Well, not like that, but I just need to get out of here. Right. Maybe I shouldn't have taken a day off. Maybe I have devolved into being one of those people where work is kind of like their escape from the crap they're dealing with outside of work for 8 hours a day. I'm sure the folks at work will guffaw if they ever see this. At that, oh, I didn't know we were so awesome. You know, very professional group of people I work with. Yeah, very professional, yeah. Warehouse folks, yeah, we're all a little rough around the edges, but these are probably some of the best folks I've worked with in many, many years. And, and the place isn't as robotic and corporate influenced as the last one of these places I was at. No, not the warehouse fiasco, but before the layoffs. It was a little more robotic and corporate and SOP, and these folks they do that, but they do it in a family-style atmosphere. I don't know why I'm talking about warehouses like they're family-style restaurants. Ugh. It's a warehouse job, kiddo. Well, not for me, anyways. And kiddo? What the? Anyways, do I plan on doing a special video of some sort for Back to the Future Day? Abso-freaking-lutely. This camera's going to be going with me. And there's some great fall foliage going on at the old park, at the cliffs, which is way over far eastern part of the States. But I'm going to go to some other places as well. I think I'm probably going to set the alarms like I'm getting up for work. And I don't want to start watching the movies at 6 a.m. though and risk waking up the neighborhood with the sounds of the DeLorean. But maybe, or maybe I could, well, no. I can't just turn off the alarms and see when I wake up because these thermal curtains that I've installed almost entirely block out all the light. So there have been times when I've been like, oh, 7 o'clock in the morning, come on, it's the weekend. I look at the clock and it's 10:30. I'm like, I don't want to screw up my sleep habits, so I might even set the alarm for my little Back to the Future day, just a little later than usual. Actually, why don't I use Cortana for that? Interesting. I didn't accidentally set Cortana off. That's a first. Yep, the sound system's still on and everything, and it's back to the PC instead of the PS3 from watching Jurassic World. Well, something else that happens tomorrow is the listings come out for rentals. So I will be looking at that, making some phone calls later, though. Tomorrow is about maybe Thursday, but creak, creak, creak. Whatever. So, tomorrow is Back to the Future Day, and I'm going to make something of it, no matter what it takes. As far as the rest of the situation is concerned, I'm thinking of starting to tear some things down as early as Thursday, but not in a rush at this point. And I'm not going to put the cart before the horse. When I have some leads on places that aren't 10 families in a mill house, clown car living arrangements, when I have some idea of where I'm headed-ish, maybe, then I will, well, put some plans together. Otherwise, meh. But as far as the landlord is concerned, though, in terms of the situation with him, now that I've thought of it, yeah, I am kind of probably better than a lot of the folks he's had in these units. Not just the people that are here now, but some of the folks that have since gone. So, right. We'll see what happens. It'd be sad to leave this place, but the smoke thing's just... It's like a giant big red GTFO painted on the side of the house. I'm not going to keep putting up with it. So... And what is it with office chairs and their unflattering noises when you decide to make use of the ability to lean back in them or sit forward in them or, yeah, well, yeah, now when I'm not sure. This one's clankier. The other one squeaks a little. Oh, there we go. Yeah. So, well, yeah, well, my boss has one that's really bad. You'd think there was a built-in whoopee cushion on that one. And, of course, when all else fails, you can move your camera back a bit. And there's another creak. Creak, creak, creak. Spin around and almost knock over the fan. Actually, I did do a video at one point. Yeah, almost knocked it over. Yeah, I did do a video at one point. I actually did do a video at one point where I just took the camera, pointed at the ceiling, and spun around in the office chair. So, yeah. I'm going to knock those Blu-rays right off the thing if I keep doing this, though, so... Oh, man, Jay, you've really scraped the bottom of the barrel with these vlogs ever since that whole landlord thing now, haven't you? I probably sound pretty weird, too, spinning around in this chair. I'll bet either my voice is going in and out, or it's sounding... Some of you folks with surround sound systems, I apologize if I sound really, really weird while I'm spinning around like this. How fast can I go in this thing? Actually, this chair... is a big and tall chair for somebody from back when I was even more of a fat ass. So it's rated for somebody like 1.5 times my weight. So, which I'm sure is dropping because I've actually cut off all the snacking at work to try and save money that way. And that's one of the biggest ways in which I wasn't really able to save. So that's been cut off. I should probably cut off on the impulse purchases and stuff like that as well. Maybe some of the things I went to Target. And I won't be buying supplies for this place anymore because I'm leaving. Now I'm nice and dizzy. Yay! As soon as the room stops spinning, I'll finish this vlog. What did I just do that for? Okay. So the future is on its way, so to speak. Tomorrow is October 21st, 2015. Despite all the crap that's going on and me wanting to move, I'm observing Future Day, or Back to the Future Day, whatever you want to call it. It's October 21st, 2015, once in a lifetime thing. So help me God, I'm going to make something of it. Thanks for watching, folks. Till next time, this is MultimediaJay, signing off. Thanks for stopping by.